Hi students, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from the beautiful Garden City of Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. Welcome Gordon. Hi Angel. Welcome Ohipama. Good to see many students in the class today. We are looking at the IELTS listening section and we're practicing to hear those Band 9 answers. Again, today's lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there for the general IELTS. Check us out at gieltshelp.com. Welcome to our moderator, Carolina. Hi, Sammy. Good to have our members in the class. Students, these are the websites that power these live lessons. This is aehelp.com. You can click that big red button to join the premium package. We are an IELTS test registration center and certified agents, so you're in good hands with us, and it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. This is the general IELTS website here at gieltshelp.com. You can click that big red button to join us there. We will be using our websites today to present the audio and the listening questions. Make sure to download our apps, Academic IELTS Help, links to aehelp.com, and General IELTS Help app, links to gieltshelp.com. Just search for these app names in your Google Play and Apple App Store. Lots of free content on those apps as well. Our Instagram is IELTS_AEhelp and GIELTS Help, so follow us there. If you have questions, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. And we've got more classes tomorrow and Saturday as well. Now we'll get right into our listening questions. So this listening is our 5th exam. For those of you that have our books, it's test 5, page 41 in our 2nd exam book. Of course, this is a part of your premium course when you sign up on our websites. I'm going to play the audio, so we're going to get right into listening part 1. The listening section of the IELTS exam is the first section. You have 40 minutes for this section, 50 minutes if we count the 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. If you're doing the computer-based exam, there's a couple minutes at the end of it, so it's about 45 minutes in length. There are 4 parts to the listening. Each one is approximately 10 minutes in length. Each part has 10 questions for a total of 40 questions, and then your score is converted to the 9-band scale. We're going to go through all of this. We're going to listen and practice, and I will give you more strategies and tips as we do this together. All right, so I'm going to play the audio in just a moment. I'm going to play the audio through my headset, so if it's quiet, please use your own headset. Turn up the volume, and it's max volume on my side. I'm playing it through a Bose speaker here. I'm just going to double check, make sure that the volume is absolutely maxed out, and it is. Please don't put your answers in the chat. Save your answers for after the audio. Give everybody a chance to answer on their own. Don't ruin it. Don't spoil it for them. At the very start, when the introduction is going, so there's always an introduction like welcome to the IELTS exam, this is the listening, it has 4 parts. I'm going to quickly look through the listening section to get an idea of the topics for part 2, part 3, part 4. This is a strategy that I highly recommend doing in your exam, is to look at the topics of each of the parts during the introduction. Okay, so here we go, students. I'm just going to hop over again. Remember, don't put the answers into the chat, so save the answers till the end. Okay. Just logging into my student account here, and I'm clicking on the audio CDs. There's lesson videos as well, of course. Okay, there we go. And tour audio CDs. All right, so here we go. This is going to be CD 5 track 1. So lots of audio here. Okay, here we go, everybody. Let's do this together.
Audio by Think One Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings, and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Listening Section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 people as one tries to return a defective product. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You'll see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Good afternoon. I bought a product from your store 1 week ago, and I've been having difficulties getting it to work properly.
Of course, sir. Do you have the original receipt from the purchase? The first piece of information I need is the date you purchased the product.
Yes, I actually have it right here. I purchased it 8 days ago, on the 6th of July.
The 6th of July. Great.
The man says he purchased the item on July 6th, so this answer has been indicated for you. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good afternoon. I bought a product from your store 1 week ago, and I've been having difficulties getting it to work properly.
Of course, sir. Do you have the original receipt from the purchase? The first piece of information I need is the date you purchased the product.
Yes, I actually have it right here. I purchased it 8 days ago, on the 6th of July.
The 6th of July. Great. I also need the name of the product as indicated on the receipt.
Certainly. The receipt shows it as SOJO 232XD.
SOJO 232XD?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, yes. I see the product in my records now. It is a 23-inch computer monitor?
Yes, that's correct.
Now tell me, did you buy the extended warranty on the monitor?
No, I did not. I always feel like those warranties are a bit of a scam.
Perhaps, until you need the warranty?
Perhaps. But there must be some sort of manufacturer's warranty, right?
There may be. Let me check for you. Okay. Yes, it seems there is a manufacturer's warranty. The warranty is for 60 days. 2 months.
Great. Then I shouldn't encounter any problems in returning it.
Well, actually, we only accept returns for a week after purchase. Since you purchased the computer monitor 8 days ago, you'll have to deal directly with the manufacturer.
How annoying. What steps must I take then?
Well, the company that makes the monitor has a depot in Birmingham. You must post it to them.
Okay. Do you have their address?
Yes. It's on Edgbaston Park Road and...
Hold on. You'll have to spell Edgbaston for me. I've never heard of it.
Of course. It is spelled EDGBASTON.
And then the rest of the address?
The address number is 89 and the unit number is 5.
Okay. So 89 Edgbaston Park Road, Unit 5.
That's right. And the postcode is B152RU.
B152RU?
That's right.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
Great, but one concern I have is the cost of posting something as large as a computer monitor.
Indeed, such a product must weigh a few kilos and will certainly set you back some money to post. Let me see if the company takes such a problem into consideration.
Well, that would certainly be nice if they did.
Yes, it seems they do. They have a program in place where they pay postage for the exchange of goods under manufacturer warranty or product recall.
That's great news. What do I have to do to use this service?
It's fairly simple. You just call their Birmingham depot and request a prepaid postage voucher. Then you take the item to the post office along with the voucher, and the post office will take care of the rest.
Sounds simple enough. Do you have a phone number for the depot in Birmingham?
Yes, you can reach them on 0121 496 0633. Oh, and be sure to call during business hours. They're open from 10 in the morning until 6 in the evening.
10 until 6, understood. One final question. What would I have had to do to return the monitor if I had purchased the extended warranty from your store?
Well, the process would have been much simpler, sir. You could have simply brought it into the return desk at your local store. We would have given you your choice of a new monitor, your cash back, or store credit in the amount of 110% of the original cost of the item.
110% store credit? Wow, that seems too good to be true.
Well, company policy is that we want satisfied customers, and when they are not satisfied, we feel the need to compensate them for this in some small measure.
Perhaps next time I'll buy the extended warranty. How much would it have cost on the monitor I bought?
Only £20.
£20 would have been well worth it to save me the trouble of dealing directly with the manufacturer.
Well, now you know, sir.
Indeed I do. Thanks again.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, and use that half minute to check your answers. Let's go through the answers together now. And I'll give you some strategies for the different question types as we do this. So let me just stop the audio on the website. There we go. All right. So a quick FYI, you do not have this example anymore since 2020. They stopped doing examples in part 1 of the listening. So now it's just simply the instructions, and then you start with question 1. Okay, now as I mentioned before we started the audio, one really good strategy is to jump to part 2, 3, 4 and just check the topics. Okay, so jump to parts 2, 3, 4 during the instruction time so that you can check the topics of these more difficult sections. And I did that. So anybody catch what was the topic of part 2? So I looked at the topic of part 2 to be very specific. What I did is I scrolled down to question 11. And then I looked at this. So what is the name of the radio show? So I got the idea that, okay, this is going to be some kind of a radio show. And then I looked at these questions here. 12, 13, 14 applies to volunteering, applies to charitable giving. So it's going to be some kind of a radio show on volunteering and charity. That's what I was able to get from taking a quick peek there. Okay. Arda says part 4 was about Michelangelo. Yeah, that's right. So let's go step by step. Part 2, radio show, likely a conversation on charity and volunteering. Yeah. And then anybody catch what part 3 will be about? Part 3, yeah. Sammy says something about trade. Yeah. So part 3 is, from what I gathered, a discussion about trade, free trade, something like that. Okay. And part 4 will be something about Michelangelo. All right. I saw that topic there, and that's great. So now I kind of have a bit of an idea of what's coming, and my brain is working on this information. I know a little bit about Michelangelo. I'm fortunate enough to have visited the Louvre Museum in Paris, where I saw some of Michelangelo's works. So that kind of information is coming to mind. I've also been to Italy, to Rome. I've seen Michelangelo's works there as well. Discussion about trade and free trade. Well, I live in Canada, so we have the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, in place between U.S., Canada, Mexico. I know a little bit about the trade agreements in the EU and between China and some countries as well. And then radio show, charity, and volunteering. Again, I have some information on that. So, okay, good. Now, of course, part 1 answer. So part 1 is significantly easier than part 2, 3, and 4. So you have to do a really good job in part 1. The example answer was July 6th, the day that the man purchased this product. And then the first question is, what product did this man purchase? So is it A, a computer, B, a computer monitor, or C, a television? They mention this several times in the listening, so even if you don't catch it at the beginning, you should definitely get it by the end of the listening. Okay, Ahmed says that the correct answer is B. This man purchased a computer monitor. And yeah, that's correct. Several times in this listening, they mention the type of item. So they say that this computer monitor is broken, the computer monitor's warranty. So the correct answer for number 1 is definitely B. Okay. And then you had this multiple choice question. What 2 pieces of information are required to access the record of the purchase? So this is question 2 and 3. It's worth 2 points. And for this one, use logic and take notes. Okay. So when I was listening for this, the clear notes that I would have is time of purchase, okay, or time of buying it, and the type of item. So in my notes, I would just have time and type, and I wouldn't underline them, okay? So for number 2, the correct answers are purchase date, that's the time, and the name of the product. Okay, so that's what the woman's asking for, and that's what the man gives. The man says it's the SOJO. So the 2 pieces of information that is needed are the purchase date and the name of the product. You can think about the answer here as well, okay? So it's 2 and 3 here. Make sure you pay attention to the question numbers, everyone. It's not just question 2, it's question 2 and 3. So Asadbek, Achilov, E and F, absolutely, okay? Tushkar, A is not correct, and I see some of you choosing A. That's just specific to this product. But the two pieces of information required to access the record of the purchase are the name of the product, which in this case is SOJO2X2XD, and the purchase date. So this is what's actually needed. This is the specific answer to those points. Okay, so A is not correct. It's E and F. All right, think critically, use logic. Okay, give a full answer. What two pieces of information are required? The required information is the purchase date and the name of the product. Okay, that's more specific, right? Okay, so for that one, and the order doesn't matter. You can write F and E, so you can write F into space 2 and then E into space 3. Okay. All right. So that's the first three. And then comes some fill in the blanks. Be really careful with your spelling here. Complete the notes below. Write no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. The warranty length is 60 days. That's the manufacturer warranty. The delivery depot location is Birmingham. When you hear this word, you can use this to identify where you are in the audio. So names of places is a great way to go, oh, okay, I just heard the word Birmingham. It's a name, capital B. So this information should be coming pretty soon. The address is something, Park Road, Unit 5. The man asks for the spelling. The customer service agent gives the spelling, so be patient. Listen for the spelling. Okay. All right, Sammy says Edge Bastion 89. Okay. John says Edge Bastion, all capitals. That's okay. The E has to be big. Ahmad says Edge Bastion. Yeah. 89. Sharman says 89 Edge Bastion. Yeah, very good. It's Edge Bastion 89. So 89 Edge Bastion, Park Road, Unit 5. And what's the postcode? So the postcode is given very clearly again. Yeah, Sam Gecko is asking, is all uppercase letters okay? Yeah, it's okay to do all uppercase, Sam. I would do all uppercase when you transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Okay. Sammy says it's B152RU. Many people agree to that. I agree as well. B152RU. Here it's absolutely a good idea to use capital or uppercase letters. So it's very, very clear. Okay. I like to do my number ones like this with this kind of base at the bottom. So again, it's very, very clear for the examiner. The rule, students, is if the examiner can't read it or if they don't know clearly what it is, what the letter is or the number is, they will mark it wrong. Okay, that's their instructions. So keep that in mind. The instruction for the people marking is if the answer is not 100% clear, it's wrong. Okay, so make sure that your numbers like 7s and 1s are super duper clear. Okay. All right. So we had a short little break here, and then the audio continued from questions 6 to 10. Questions 6 to 7, write no more than 3 words for each answer. In order to get free delivery on product returns, the customer must telephone the depot and request a prepaid what? What must the person request? Okay. Yeah, it's B152RU. Okay, Sammy says it's a postage voucher. Asad Beck agrees. Sharman agrees. Irene agrees. Yeah, it's a postage voucher, not post, postage. It's an adjective here. Postage voucher. A voucher is like a ticket. So think about it like a ticket that you get, which you can exchange for some value. So another kind of context you might hear it in is a food voucher. So sometimes governments or certain organizations give food vouchers to people that they can take to a restaurant or they can take to a grocery store and exchange it for food. That's called a food voucher. Okay, so there are different types of vouchers. One type of voucher is a postage voucher. Okay, when you have a minute, look up the word vouch. Okay, in the dictionary. All right, number 7, what is the phone number for the depot? So again, this time you only heard it once, so you have to really pay attention and catch these numbers. Parisha Patel says it's 012149 60633. Tushkar says it's 012149 Sammy agrees. You do not need to worry about spaces, Arda. So yeah, it's I remember the 0121. I didn't remember the rest of it off the top of my head. 0121 0633. Okay, looks like that. Again, don't worry about spaces. They don't count. You just have to make sure that you have the correct numbers and it's clear for the examiner. Okay, let's take a look at the remaining 3 questions. Here we go. So multiple choice. For multiple choice, listen for the answer. Don't expect the answer to jump off the page. You have to do some thinking. Number 8, for how many hours is the depot open each day? And they said it twice, I believe. It said from 10 until 6 p.m. I believe that was the what was said in the audio, if I remember correctly. 10 until 6. And if we do a little bit of math here, then we realize that 10 to 6 p.m. equals 8 hours. Okay, so again, simple math, you have to listen for the answer. They don't actually say it's open for 8 hours, so you have to figure that out. So number 8 is B, okay, is the correct answer. And you get that from hearing the 10 to 6 p.m., which means that it's 8 hours. Okay. All right. Number 9 is just one question, so all of the answers go into the space number 9 in your answer sheet. And number 9 is asking, which 3 options are customers given upon returning an item having purchased the warranty? And here again, take some notes. Okay, so the woman said new one. Okay, and then also said money back and store credit. So if you were able to grab these 3 notes from the audio, you should have gotten the correct answers. Rashika says it's E, A, and D. E is 110% store credit. So you're right, Rashika. A, exchange for a new item, a new one. Yeah. So that's good too, Rashika. And D, cash back money. So that's also correct. So those are the 3, and you have to get all 3 correct to pick up the point for number 9 here, okay? So the answers are A, D, and E. Okay. All right. Also use your logic. 20 pounds. What? Free postage. Huh? And 100% store credit. That was a little bit tricky, but they emphasized this 110% store credit. So hopefully you got that. All right. So A, D, and E. Okay. We've got one more question to come to the end of part 1. Question number 10. And again, it's going to be multiple choice. Oftentimes the last question, question 10, is like the last sentence of the audio. So really pay attention till the very, very end. Okay. So here, number 10, the woman mentions an item that costs 20 pounds. What is this item? A computer monitor? Probably not. It'd be one of the cheapest monitors in the world. Extended warranty? Manufacturer's warranty. Well, manufacturer's warranty either comes with or does not come with any item at the time of purchase. So even if I miss number 10, logic will tell me that the $20 item is the extended warranty. It's B. Very good, Sammy. So manufacturer's warranty? Nope. Computer monitor? Nope. Yep. B. Okay. Manufacturer's warranty is what you get with your item when you buy the item itself in the store. Okay. You don't actually pay extra for manufacturer's warranty. All right. Anytime you buy like a computer part or some type of electronic, they usually give you a little card in the box that says register your product for the manufacturer's warranty. Okay. So that's what that is. All right, you don't pay for that usually, anything extra. Okay, so that's part 1. And those are some strategies for part 1. How did you do? What was your score from 10? Okay, ideally, you're getting a score of 9 or more. Okay, that's the ideal because part 1 is really the easiest, so you shouldn't be getting more than 1 or 2 wrong. Okay, if you're getting more than 2 answers wrong, you really have to slow down and check yourself and see what's going on. All right. So Irene says, I got 10. Anjali says, I got 9. Anjali is still good. Tushkar, 9 is good. Yeah, so Arda, 9 is good. So that's your goal. Okay, 9 is okay. 10 is great. Anything under 8, and you have to check and review. All right. Okay, let's continue in the same spirit with section 2. Okay, now again, section 2, be ready for this, is going to be a fair bit more challenging than part 1, simply because you're going to be listening most likely to a conversation. So instead of one person talking, it'll be 2 people talking. And the topics and the conversations get a lot more specific. Okay? All right. So again, I'm playing this through my headset microphone. It's going to be maybe a bit quieter. Turn up the volume, use a headset, and then we'll go through the answers together at the end. Do not put your answers into the chat. Wait till the end, and then we'll share our answers after. Here we go.
Now turn to section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening section 2. You will hear a recording of a radio news magazine discussing the importance of doing good in the community. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
Hello, I'm Emma Robertson, and I'd like to welcome our listeners to Beyond the Lens, the programme that aims to dig deeper on issues in culture and society. Today we have Professor Hudson McMahon from the university of Bristol's Department of Social Policy. Hello, Professor McMahon. Do you want to tell us a little about what you'll be presenting today?
Of course, Emma. But first, I'd like to thank you for having me on the show. My wife and I are both avid listeners of Beyond the Lens, and it's a bit of a thrill to be on the show. But I digress. Today, I want to talk about the importance of doing good in the community and in society. There are many ways of doing this, but the two most common ways are volunteering and giving to charity. However, these methods of improving community and society have an important difference. While volunteering one's time is almost always a positive for society, giving to charity is significantly more problematic.
Problematic, Professor McMahon? It would seem to me that giving to charity is always a positive for society. We celebrate those among us who are the greatest donors to charity.
Yes, and in general, it is warranted. I do want to clarify. In general, giving to charity is good, but one must be very careful for two reasons. First, some charities do not do sufficient amounts of charitable good per pound. And second, some charities receive too much money that could be spent better on other causes. Let me discuss each of these in turn.
This seems to me a rather radical thesis.
It seems that way, but I hope to convince you otherwise by the end of the program. Now, getting back to charities. Some charities simply do not give a lot of their received monies to the actual performance of good acts. For instance, some charities utilize less than 10% of their donations on actual charitable activities. The rest goes to salaries, promotion, and other overhead costs. So for a donation of £100, it may be the case that less than £10 actually goes to helping someone.
That sounds terrible, but it still helps people, right?
Well, yes, but as charitable givers, we should try and reward those charities who do most good with the least amount of money. By that, I mean that those thinking of donating to charity should do research on a charity before giving to the cause. There are other charities where more than 50% of donations go to the end cause. These charities are much more deserving of your patronage.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
Another reason to be discerning when it comes to your choice of charities is what I call the relative utility of a charitable donation.
Let me take a guess here, Professor McMahon. Is the relative utility of a donation how much good it does relative to other donations?
That's just about it, Emma. The relative utility of a donation is how much good a donation does per amount spent. For instance, the disease MND, motor neuron disease, was in the news in recent years, and MND charities received a windfall of donations. This sounds all well and good, but there is a problem. Unlike, say, heart disease, MND does not affect very many people. While it would be wonderful to cure the disease, there are better allocations of our limited charity funds.
Wait, so you're saying it was bad for people to give to MND charities?
Not quite, only that it was suboptimal. Because there is limited supply of money given to charity each year, it is important that it is used at least somewhat optimally. And allocating overwhelming amounts of money to a disease that affects very low percentage of people is extremely suboptimal.
That's very interesting, Professor McMahon. So how can our listeners try and optimize their charitable gifts?
First of all, don't be caught up in viral social media campaigns. Instead, use such moments to remind yourself of the importance of giving to charity in general, and not just to niche causes with good promotion. And second, do your research. Before you donate, look up how much of a charity's donation go to the actual end goal. Additionally, look up how many people are affected by the charity's end cause. The more people there are affected, and the worse they are affected, the more likely you should be to donate to that cause. It is all about maximizing good in the world.
That certainly sounds like a noble goal, but if everyone donates...
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, and again, always use that half minute to check your answers. Okay, here we go. So let's go through the answers together now. So here we have a radio talk show. And firstly, they introduce the radio talk show. The woman says, "Welcome to," and then gives the name. And then the man later says, "I would like to say that I'm really happy to be on this show. My wife and I are avid viewers of," and then gives the name of the show again. Did anybody catch the name of this radio show? Sammy says it's Being the Lens. It's not Being the Lens. It's Beyond the Lens. Okay, here the lens refers to the camera lens that's filming the show. So Beyond the Lens. Amra, that's correct, but make sure to put capitals, okay? So this is where using all capitals can kind of save you. It's Beyond. The does not need capital. It's an article. We don't capitalize the in titles. So Beyond the Lens, okay? But the L and the B do have to be capital letters. So the name of the radio show is Beyond the Lens. All right, and in this episode of Beyond the Lens, they're talking about charities and charitable giving. Okay. So here you kind of had this matching answer. Applies to volunteering, which means giving your time. Applies to charitable giving, which means giving money. And applies to neither, so not charity nor volunteering. Number 12. Affects fewer people, but may be highly inefficient. Okay, so means that it doesn't affect many people and it doesn't work very well. Is that A, B, or C? So volunteering, charitable giving, or neither of them? Well, I mean, worst case scenario, you have a 1 in 3 chance of guessing it correct. But you should use your logic here. So volunteering, when people give their time, it's inefficient? I don't think so. If you give your time to help people, it's going to be efficient, no matter what you do. So the correct answer here is C. It applies to neither. Okay. Number 13 can be problematic for various reasons. This was maybe a little bit easier. They talked quite a bit about this. Okay. And so, and the man mentions that it's problematic because not enough money actually goes to helping people and so on. So number 13, hopefully you got this. It was charitable giving. Can be a little bit problematic. That's basically what most of the show is about, discussing the difficulties with charitable giving. So giving money. Okay, Carolina, good, helping us out a little bit. Rashika, nicely done. B. It's almost always a positive action for society. So it's pretty much always good to do this. That's going to be A, volunteering. By the way, for those of you who are planning to immigrate to Australia, Canada, doing volunteer work looks really good on your application. If you can include that into your visa applications, volunteer work is always looked upon highly. And then number 15 is subject to many overhead costs. So paying for advertising, paying for administrators, processing fees, etc. Again, that is going to be charitable giving. Okay, so giving to charities. So the correct answers here are C, B, A, and B. All right, let's keep rolling along. So here for number 16, again, we had to choose 2 letters. That means in the space for 16, if you're doing the paper-based exam, you have to put both of the letters into the space to get this correct. What are the 2 reasons charities can be inefficient? So why they don't work well? Now, of course, when you understand this, then you can be guaranteed that you can get number 13 and number 15 correct. Okay. All right, so they can be inefficient because they have to pay their employees. They give less than 10% of the money received to the actual cause. The promotion of the charity, doing the most good with the least money. Some causes are not important as others. Okay, this one was fairly challenging, but the answer is there. Okay, so 16 here. They have to pay the salaries. That's one of the overhead costs, okay? And advertising. So paying employees and advertising charities can be very, very expensive. So a lot of donation money is needed just for that without even helping the person, okay? So that's what we mean by overhead costs, okay? So A and C for that one. All right, and then you had this kind of flow chart. The flow chart here is about charities, and we have 2 different directions. One is heart disease, so the other one is going to be some kind of other disease. So if I'm looking here, few, inefficient, optimal, generous, very many, MND, and cancer. Which letter goes into 17? Sam Gecko says it's going to be F. Gavia says it's MND. And you're right, Gavia, it is MND. Just make sure to put the letter and not the words. So F goes into there. Yeah, because it's comparing a type of disease that affects many people versus a type of disease that affects... So many people versus clearly this answer with a little bit of simple logic is few. So it's A, right? Affects few people. Okay. And it's a good use of funds. So if we're doing research with our money that affects a lot of people like heart disease, or today a good example, of course, was COVID in the last year and a half, 2 years. So number 19, if we're giving a lot of money to an illness that doesn't really affect that many people, then it's probably an inefficient use of funds. Okay, so it's not the best way to use money. 19, inefficient. It's not optimal. Optimal means it's good, it's efficient, okay, but it's not. So here it's an inefficient use of funds. So careful, Amra and Flak, PUBG, Assad back, okay? It's an inefficient use of funds. So now, if you look through both directions, you kind of see the rationale behind these. So charity, giving to heart disease, affects many people. It's a good use of funds. A charity that's giving for MND affects few people and is an inefficient use of funds. So if we take the lesson from this flowchart, then we can simply get the answer for the last question as well. The last question is asking us, according to the guest, what is the main goal of charitable giving? Now, here, doing research, the importance of giving to good causes, or maximizing good. If you think of the flow chart, okay, that we just completed, and this is why it's good to get questions correct, because then you can get the next questions correct. You realize that the correct answer is C, maximizing good, right? So you can give money for MND research or for heart disease. If you give money for heart disease, you're probably going to do greater good because the research will help more people, okay? So number 20 is C, Gavia, okay? All right, so C. Okay, everyone, count up. your marks. How did you do out of 20 today? What was your score from 20? Okay. How did you fare? Now, again, part 1 is the easiest. Part 2 does get a bit more difficult. In order to get a good band score on the listening section, you're really looking for 16 or more for part 1 and 2 combined, okay? So Umra, 15, it's a little bit on the low side. Tay, Rock-X, 17 is good. Angel, 17 is good. Sam, Gecko, 18 is great. So anything that's above 16, you're in the right range for a higher band score, okay? The most difficult sections, part 3 and part 4, are still coming up, and it's likely that candidates will lose more points there. So just be really, really careful, okay? All right, students. So tomorrow we will finish this listening exam. Again, this is exam number 5 from our second exam book on our website. And we know that part 3 will be some kind of discussion about trade. Part 4 will be something about Michelangelo. We're going to do that tomorrow. I will give you more tips, more strategies. That class tomorrow will be at the exact same time as today. If you have questions, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. And if you want to improve your IELTS score quickly, check us out at aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general. Get our apps, Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help. And again, students, it is just a one-time payment for lifetime access. So the website, General IELTS, looks like this with the green background. Click that big red button to join the premium package there. Same thing for aehelp.com. That's it for me for today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating the class, keeping us focused and keeping it clean, keeping it English. It was nice to teach the class, Parisha Patel. Good to have you here. And I wish you to stay safe as well, Arda, and everybody else out there. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria on the west coast of Canada. I will be back again tomorrow for more IELTS, so make sure to come back and join me then. Much love to all of you wherever you are in the world. Bye for now.